What? Yeah, I'm starting it now. All right. Sorry, those are the other people in my guest room. Hi, I'm Jared Logan. Welcome to Blood and Blades, our weekly Blades in the Dark stream here on the Stream of Blood, where we bring you the best in tabletop role-playing game actual plays. I'm your game master. Did I say my name? Let's say it again. I'm Jared Logan. If you hear a baby crying in the background, that's my one-year-old daughter, soon to be 2 years old. She's adorable. Please don't complain about it. Just go, "Oh, I love her," or something like that in the chat. I'd appreciate it. It's hard being a father and creating a steampunk world of action and intrigue every week. But somehow I keep both of those plates spinning. Guys, I'm so happy that you are here for this. This is a experiment we're trying. I think it's working out. I think this experiment is a success where what we're doing is every week we're playing the excellent game Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Studios, and we're playing it with a different adventuring party, a different crew. Well, look, I have a little intro here. Welcome to Blood and Blades, part of our shared actual play setting in the game world of Blades in the Dark. 3 Saturdays each month, we run scores with 3 incredible crews of criminals on the darkened streets of Duskfall. And on the 4th, we are here with our subscribers for a faction turn to track how the setting has been affected by the gameplay and to let those same subscribers control the city's various factions. How they react. They get to decide the goals of those factions. So if you're a Blades in the Dark fan, you know that in the back of the book, there's all these different gangs and city institutions and organizations and cults. And our subscribers control them and decide how they react to the things that are happening in Duskfall. And then 3 weeks out of the month, we have actual players portraying their own original crews in this interactive setting. If you would like to be part of Blood and Blades and all the other great content we have here on the Stream of Blood, please subscribe on Twitch and become part of our community. We don't have a Patreon or any paywalled content, so this really is the best way to support what we do and be part of it yourself, is to subscribe here on Twitch. Here, am I in Twitch? While I'm here in Twitch, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button hard. Hit it hard. It matters more if you tap it really hard. And speaking of community, we just had to say a big thank you. One of our very own subscribers, one of our favorite subscribers, Michelle Kim, aka Miss Emma MYK, built a wiki for our channel. And it has already inspired so many incredible contributions and is already becoming an amazing resource for us when we need to look up something from our past episodes, because Secret Game Master Clint and I sometimes don't take great notes. Thank God that Miss MYK has been taking fantastic notes. I've been saying Miss Mick. I guess I didn't realize it was an acronym. But Michelle, thank you so much. And thanks to everybody else in the SOB community who's been contributing to that. That's really awesome and exciting and fun to be able to look. And people keep asking me to get the facts right, and I kind of just want to see what people remember or what they put in it. If I think something's like, oh no, you can't say that, maybe I'll intervene. But so tonight we are going to bring to you one of our crews, one of our criminal crews. This crew, these are my pals. I've played with a couple of these guys in outside of the stream, but it's always a pleasure playing with all of them. They run a regular stream every Monday night called Better Than Heroes. It is a Spelljammer campaign run by our friend Harlan. So it's really fantastic. You should check that out. Right now, let me introduce them. He just did a fantastic job keeping our regular Call of Cthulhu stream, the Neptune Society here on the Stream of Blood. And he is going to join us again tonight. He filled in last time we had this crew here. He is playing Urich, the leech university student with, I believe, poisonous skin. Please welcome Andrew ORVEDAHL.
Oh, I've never swallowed salad so fast in my life.
Oh,
You got
I didn't mean
me.
to interrupt your salad.
No, you got me. I gotta be ready. Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Everybody's got their rosé ready. That's what you drink when you play Blades in the Dark.
Blades in the Dark. Nice.
You eat salad, I drink rosé.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. I love this game.
Have you done Downtime in Blades in the Dark yet?
Nah, I have in like a home game, I believe.
Yeah. We're going to do a little Downtime tonight, but people that are watching know from our last Downtime with the tin whistles, sometimes it can suddenly become active time, uptime, if you're not careful. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's bring in our next role player. He plays Moon Boy on Better Than Heroes. He is a talented artist. You should check out his stuff. And he is playing Poor Violet, the Whisper, who is haunted by her much lovelier, more popular, and more beautiful sister, who is dead and a ghost. Please welcome Jordan Dahl, everybody. Is he... Hi, I can't hear you, buddy.
I got you. You passed my test.
That was very clever of you.
Hello. Hi, guys. Hi. How are you?
I was in a Zoom I wasn't in it, but I was watching a Zoom wedding today. And we were all just kind of like talking, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know there was a group of us watching and we were talking all kinds of shit.
Sure.
Then someone who was also viewing it from states away sent us a text. You guys aren't on mute. And we were like, no!
Yes, you love to see it.
Luckily, we weren't talking shit about the wedding or people in it. But,
sure. Just about weddings in general. You were just like, I hate this dumb institution.
I was like, marriage is a lie. No, I don't believe that. Jordan, thanks for being here, buddy.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
How's poor Violet doing? Does she need a little rest? Does she need a little downtime after last time?
She does. I think after mostly witnessing the carnage caused by the golem, she also is feeling a little bit powerful after that last one. She got to put on the mask and do some pretty creepy stuff.
Yeah.
And I think she's she saw a lot of stuff get wrecked and she didn't hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, she likes a little wreckage, a little
wrecking.
Mm-hmm. Also, her sister shot a cop and blamed me for
That's
it.
right.
So, no big
did she
deal.
blame me? We know she shot a cop. I don't know that she blamed me.
No, blame me.
Way,
oh, yes. Well, that
by
did
the way,
happen.
I give extra XP for shooting a cop. No, I'm kidding. What an odd message.
Put that in the wiki.
You shoot a cop, you get plus 1 XP.
That's going
Jared,
in the
I don't
wiki
think
immediately.
No, make him finish. He has to decide. Weird morality problem.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, we don't like to shy away from murder, mayhem,
Blades in the Dark.
these things in Blades in the Dark. Let me bring in your next player. She is the fantastic host of a Magic the Gathering podcast called The Commander's Sphere. She plays the Hound, the Hunter, the Marksman, Bina Jaffe, who has a chubby bat sidekick. Please welcome Rachel Weeks, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for
I'm
being here.
excited.
Yes.
I just came to do double rest in a row.
Yes.
Took off on.
Perhaps our character was off, doing some side mission.
Yeah, I gotta recover from all this recovering.
Yeah,
we
that's
can
it.
figure that out. We can figure out what she was doing. And did we ever name the chubby bat sidekick?
Oh,
as soon as you said that, I think it's Barrow or something.
Barrow,
like that.
That's a great name.
It was something like that. Let me double check my notes here.
Barrow, I like Barrow. I like because it's like for those of you that don't know, a barrow is a traditional druidic mound where they would inter their dead. Everybody that's watching this knew that.
Yeah,
okay.
or it's a wheelbarrow.
Or it could be a wheelbarrow.
Or it's something for hauling turnips.
Yeah. And the bat creature that you have is so chubby that it probably is the wheelbarrow that you kind
Yeah,
of roll him
yeah,
around
yeah.
in.
It's definitely bottom heavy, and I think it's Barrow. If it's not, that's what it is. But he hangs clipped around my neck with his like sort of pot belly butt hanging off the back. It's good.
Oh, I want it. I want to own it. Finally, the sort of almost de facto leader character of the crew. I don't want to like say this is the leader, but this character owns Drakk's books. He's sort of the elder of the other characters, and he's played by the fantastic. Well, his name is Elazar Drakkher, and he's played by the fantastic. Let's bring him in, Aaron Urist. Everybody.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
All right.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
So good. Glad to be here.
Do you have your rosé?
I don't have rosé. I got a little zero sugar ginger ale.
Oh, okay. All right. People game differently. I get really high on rosé while I drink.
High on rosé.
Yeah. I get really amped and really drunk on rosé. Well, welcome everybody. Be sure to check out Better Than Heroes. If you love our streams, you'll love that stream as well. Are you guys ready to play some Blades in the Dark?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, then I need to bring up my really sweet intro that I do for Blades in the Dark. Give me a second. People love this. They're always like, Jared, do the intro again. We really like it. And I'm like, come on, guys. It's just a little thing I wrote.
Jared, do more Barrow trivia.
It is Barrow. I wrote it down.
Beautiful. Okay.
It says hunting Pat Barrow, old fat bat.
Yeah,
All the details.
put hunting
Here we
in
go.
quotes, because what's he
Yeah.
hunting, honestly?
Chocolate covered
1,000
strawberries.
years ago. That's how it starts. 1,000 years ago, this was a land of beauty and magic. Then came the cataclysm that blotted out the sun and ripped open the gates to the land of the dead. The city of Duskfall is a metropolis of factories and refineries, protected by its crackling lightning towers, fueled by miraculous electroplasm. Outside the walls is a wasteland of vengeful spirits. Inside the walls is a wretched hive of scum and villainy, intrigue and corruption. Life is cheap in a city ruled by death. The sun is gone. The only thing that shines in Duskfall are the blades in the dark. Let's bring the players
That was
back in.
good.
Wow, that intro. I mean, like,
I like 'em.
every time I say it, I'm like, really good writing. Okay. So tonight we're going to do some Downtime, and it's one of the best things about Blades in the Dark. And like a usual session of Blades in the Dark, we don't have to roleplay right away. We kind of get in with mechanics for a while, and then we'll find our way to roleplay sooner than you think. But I want to talk about the crew first. So, Aaron, could you tell us a little bit about the crew really quickly?
Sure. We are a crew of Skovlanders, operating out of a bookshop in Char Hollow, which is sort of a hard scrabble borough of Duskfall. And our purpose is of the Kenahora, which is what we call ourselves, is to reclaim powerful, powerful magical artifacts of Skovland history.
That's right.
And
Yeah, and you're a crew of shadows, which
Yes.
makes you uniquely spec'd to do that. You pull burglary and spying missions generally.
or send in a golem to destroy a city block.
Shut the
Right.
place.
Or when you need the big guns, you send in the golem. So we haven't done this before, but now that we're a couple sessions in, this is our fourth session with the Kenahora, we can throw up the faction table here, and we can kind of decide. And I would also love for secret GM Clinton Trucks to join me for this too. We're gonna throw up the faction table, and we're gonna find out. Hi, buddy, how's it going?
It's me, Clint.
Yeah,
Hi, Clint.
everyone has food
He's
in
just-
their mouth when I call them.
Just chewing on ice like I do. I didn't expect you to be summoned so early.
What if one time it just Clinton just appeared on screen, and then we just heard an enormously loud bit of flatulence? That would be so embarrassing. I mean, it would be
If
me.
you
in
think
that
I don't check
scenario.
my mute button on the regular.
Well, let's go ahead and let's throw up, if you don't mind, my friend, the whole faction list, and we'll figure out who the Kenahora. Oh, there she blows. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so who do we think, or who do we know that the Kenahora has a relationship with? Well, I think that the Bluecoats. Are they? Everybody who is a criminal crew, which the Kenahora is, has a -1 with the Bluecoats. But after the last session, where it seems like Professor Ludwin, the professor that you sort of intimidated and scared into a little bit turning over a new leaf, he seemed to have a special relationship with the Bluecoats. Do we think it has gone up to -2, which I believe is hostile? Is that right, Clint?
-2 is hostile, correct?
Yeah. Does that seem right, or do we hold off on that? Real question. I'm not like trying to ask a leading question. Do you think these guys are already? Do you think the police are already hostile to them?
No, because I don't think that they were. Despite the fact that one of them shot a cop, he wasn't caught or identified. So I'm going to say,
And I didn't.
Right.
We more unleashed the fury of this new Proud Boys police institution.
Oh, God.
Oh, I forgot about
And it was
that.
less onto us and more just onto Skovlanders in general, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. So we will hold off. We'll leave it at interfering, which the Bluecoats are for every criminal crew.
Still a horrible thing.
Yeah, because as for as many walls as we knocked down, I'm not sure that they were like, this was the Kenahora.
No, they don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Likewise, the Dimmer sisters, who in your first score, the very first episode you played, you came into contact with this group called the Dimmer sisters, who are sort of occultists, women that live in a haunted mansion and seek magical power. You severely messed one up, trapping her between the ghost field and the real world. And so they're at interfering with you now, but you didn't reveal your identity to them, really. So I don't think that they would go up to hostile yet either. Does anybody disagree? Clint, what do you think?
yeah, I think it's interfering only because they certainly were spotted, and the Dimmer sisters have a progress clock that specifically affects things that the Kenahora are up to. So if they knew that, say, the Kenahora were an organized thing to be trying to crush, 2 or 3 would be appropriate. But I think -1 for the time being.
Very good. So I guess let's look at a couple things. And, this was never explicitly stated in previous games, but maybe it should be now. A couple factions that might have Skovlin origins or affiliations. I think for example, the Grinders. So the Grinders, I have decided, every crew has to pay up. They have to pay up to the boss of their district when they score some coin on a job. And I think in this case, Hutton, the leader of the Grinders, is the boss that you guys pay up to. So I want to know, and this can be dealt with sort of just with an opinion from my players. Have you been kind of treating him right and paying up the amount that you owe and, kind of keeping up your side of the bargain with the Grinders? By the way, I should explain who the Grinders are. The Grinders are a gang. They are Skovlin refugees as well. Many of them, not refugees, sorry, immigrants. Skovlin immigrants, many Skovlanders, though, didn't really want to come to Akaros, or their ancestors didn't. It all happened after the Unity War. So the Grinders worked in Lockport. They worked in situations where they were basically poisoned by electroplasm refineries that they worked in. And they are trying to the Grinders are trying to raise coin through various criminal enterprises to build their own fleet of ships and go back and take Skovlin back. So this is definitely a group that the Kenahora probably wouldn't have an issue paying up coin to. What do you guys think? How friendly are you with the Grinders is the question.
I don't think friendly, but I think probably
I think we sort of fly under the radar with them as well.
Great.
A little bit.
I will say that you still are going to be asked each time you score to pay up to Hutton, the leader of the Grinders, but we can keep it at 0. Like you're just one of several Skovelander criminal enterprises that pays into them.
Sure. But I mean, we could take that up to like
it's probably even like this bookshop makes a little bit too much money. We pay them coin to not ask why.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about the Skovland consulate? The Skovland consulate. So, of course, after Akaros, and chat, please correct me if I'm getting some of this history wrong. Skovland does have its own government now, but I'm sure that it was one set up by Akaros after they won the Unity War.
Sure.
So, do you have any relationship with sort of the embassy here?
I bet that Elazar has some contacts there.
Yeah, I would think like it,
Like, or
we're
maybe
academic.
not just him.
Like we'd have like one of us would have probably a close relationship with some member of Skovland government.
You guys, you know, it makes sense because you're not really like down in the trenches kind of like dirty, like a bunch of ruffians. You're academics, you are learned thieves. And so I'm going to go ahead and say, and you should have a positive influence with somebody. Let's go ahead and give our friends +1 with the Skovland consulate.
Just for clarity's sake, I have a note that says Ulf Ironborn is a Skovlander mob boss.
That's right.
This is separate from Hutton. So we're kicking money to multiple Skovland mob bosses.
Did I say you were kicking up to Ulf Ironborn before?
That's what I remembered.
Oh my god! What a fool.
I believe so.
What a fool. Well, things have changed.
Okay. Hutton's on charge now.
He's over in Coleridge, our friend Ulf Ironborn.
Okay.
And the Grinders have taken over your have become your patron now.
Okay.
And it will not be both, of course. It will be one or the other. But you did have some dealings with Ulf Ironborn then. And you can tell me if you think that you have yes, sir, Mr. Clinton Trucks.
It's probably worth mentioning Ulf Ironborn is probably the other side of the Skovland contingent here. If the consulate are trying to do things above board, Ulf Ironborn is a rabble rouser and potential terrorist.
Yeah, he's
for the cause.
Well, the Grinders are terrorists.
Cool.
Ulf is a
opportunist.
Well, he's a brute and a thug and an opportunist. You're probably slightly more, just based on what I know about your crew, more political, like the way that the Grinders are. But do you think you have any relationship with Ulf?
If he's a thug and an opportunist.
Yeah, I think we're less likely to be involved with him than the Grinders.
Okay. Right, so they're at 0. And you did pay up to him last time without causing any issues. So we'll leave that at 0 right now, too. And that should be about it in terms of like groups that have Skovland affiliations.
Okay.
Not quite, Jared. There is also
the NRA.
Refugees.
Sorry.
Oh, the Skovlander refugees. Ah, well, now that's interesting. I'm going to answer this for our group. We're going to give them a +1 with Skovlander refugees because we are going to talk about what happened in your last score.
Because some of us are Skovlander refugees, right?
Yeah, not only that, you sort of helped Skovlander refugees in your last score. So the informants claim that you were trying to claim.
Yeah. Good, we were successful there.
Yes. Oh, hey, welcome back, Bina Jaffe. Yes.
All right.
By the way, Bina, I think, had a cameo or two.
Oh, good.
But I didn't control Bina or have her do anything overt. But she was definitely like bad at the moment or whatever.
Yeah.
She was doing beer bongs. She drew
Nice.
a wiener on someone's face.
She
It was
drew
hilarious.
a
That's all,
wiener on
all in
someone's face.
character.
But that's all I had her do. So they were successful. They intimidated the intolerant and what would be racist, frankly, Professor Ludwin, who had a lot of ideas about culture that he is sharing with his students at Charter Hall University. They intimidated him into changing his behavior. They humiliated him and destroyed his home, and stole some of his very treasured items, including a book with a lot of philosophy in it that he was working on.
Could you remind us the name of that book?
It was just called The Right. R-I-T-E, The Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
My next
were
question.
we were trying to give him something of a night before Christmas Scrooge experience, like you'll be visited by a golem and it will scare you out of your wits. But instead,
And
we
then he was.
killed him. We destroyed his house around
It
him.
worked.
And I think we broke his wrist or something. It was
Yeah,
it was pretty
tore
gnarly.
his
gnarly.
house off of the
Mouth.
side of a hill. Yeah, I mean it was successful.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say is, he wasn't really like you're just targeting one professor, so he wasn't really of a tier higher than you guys. So we are gonna say that your reputation only goes up by +2, which is standard, unless someone is of a higher, a much more powerful than you. Let's throw up the crew sheet and we'll show why that's important. Yes, when your rep goes up, you eventually will go up in tier. Now, what is cool is that you did fill in something from the other side, the turf end of that spectrum there, where the little rep meter is. One of those gets filled in because you did manage to procure the informants. And the informants are there, and you can see that they give you +1 die when you were doing gathering information for a score. And
Radical.
your informants are they now work for you. They are the servants of all of the Akarosi people that work in Charter Hall. So they're every maid, every laundress, every cook that is a Skovlander refugee or a Skovlander immigrant. They will now feed information to you, and their group has a name too. They call themselves the Drudges. So the Drudges are now an information network for you, and keep them in mind because that's a powerful resource that you've claimed. When that rep meter is full, you will go up a tier. So keep that in mind. Let's do our crew XP. Okay. So did you satisfy your crew specific XP trigger? For Shadows, it's a spying or burglary operation. The operation didn't appear to be a burglary operation, but then you did end up stealing a bunch of shit from him. So I'm going to say, check. You get XP for that.
Great.
Did you contend with challenges above your station? I'm going to say, and you can argue with me, a good player always argues with the game master. Did you contend with challenges above your station? I think no, because the golem was so powerful and scary, and it was a fairly simple score, which is what you guys were going for. You wanted to you were like, oh, that seems like the easier one to kind of warm us up. We'll intimidate this guy, and then we'll move on to bigger prey. So what do you think? Anybody want to?
I would make the case that the golem is in and of itself a problem above our station.
Whoa.
Now unleash it on ourselves.
Yeah,
Well,
also...
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, also, I have been seemingly framed for shooting a cop in front of a crowd of people.
Okay. Then I will say give him that XP. Give him that XP.
Yeah.
It comes with a devil's bargain, Aaron. That means if the golem is a challenge above your station, we are going to treat it that way sometimes. It is not simply another character or weapon you can bring to bear. It sometimes causes you problems above your station.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's how we sort of talked about playing it anyway, so I think that's good.
Okay, perfect, good, and it gets you some XP. So great. And then finally, did this score express the goals, drives, or essential nature of the crew? And I think that in some ways it did, in some ways it didn't. Like, you guys are subtle, and that was not a subtle score at all.
That is true.
But there were some subtle components to it.
Drives.
We had
yes.
some like subtle touches around the edges of a
That's
violent explosion.
Yeah,
like
it was
putting
subtle up until the end.
yeah. It's like putting a picture frame around the hole you punched in the wall.
But we sort of subtly our touch with it. I mean, we could have just killed him, and instead we terrified him, and now we have a network of informants.
And we did so in such a way that excused us from culpability. And I think he at least now believes that this golem is just a force of nature that punishes the wicked.
Right. I'm going to give you the XP. I also think that, generally your crew does things for Scovelanders, for Scovelander heritage and pride, and that's in the inherent nature of your crew, and the score definitely fit that. So then we get to individual XP, and I'm going to say you guys can kind of fill this in. I'm just going to kind of rattle off what it is. Look at your sheet. Make sure you feel like, you're up to date. First of all, your playbook specific trigger. For a whisper, did you deal with spirits or the strange during the score? For a spider, it's all about like planning. You'll see that on there. If you fulfill that trigger, give yourself a bit of XP. And let me just say, Bina Jaffe, you couldn't be with us. I don't believe in, punishing people because, they can't make it to a game. So what was Bina Jaffe doing while, and you can get as creative as you want, Rachel, while these guys were doing this?
What a great question. It's interesting because this definitely feels like something that Bina would really want to be involved in. She's an ex-professor herself, and but I think maybe that's it. Is she couldn't be involved because it's too close to like her circle. Like it's too she can't be messing around with specifically another academic because she could be recognized and
Right, she was the advanced scout. They sent her to find him at first and everything. Yeah.
So
okay,
I think perhaps she was too close to it. It was also Bina who sort of set up this relationship with the network of servants. Like this was like she sort of brokered this deal. So I would think that she was gathering information sort of with the servants and trying to like garner a better relationship with them.
Right, get them to agree that they were going to, help you if you guys did this, right?
Yeah. So I think just not at the forefront of this deal, but securing all the connections that we need behind the scenes here.
Okay. I think that means that you addressed a challenge with tracking. You tracked down these people. You tracked down the professor. Go ahead and give yourself an XP for that.
Sure.
And
Sweet.
then anybody who thinks that they expressed their beliefs, heritage, or background, I mean, that's so individual. If you feel like this did that, and I think that's pretty much everybody, go ahead and give yourself an XP.
No, I think I suppressed mine to kind of fit in with that professor because
then
he doesn't know that I'm a Scovelander.
Oh wow! Yeah, thank you. Yes, teacher,
very good.
You forgot to give us homework. Yes,
and I honestly, I specifically think that poor Violet is going kind of against her Akarosi upbringing by
wow. Thank you.
Going
you for
out
being
here.
honest with me.
2 narcs.
Couple of narcs.
Andrew and Jordan do not take XP for that. But you know what? It says struggle with issues from vice or trauma. I don't think Elazar the Golem or Bina Jaffe did that. But
Isn't that all Elazar did last time?
Oh, that's true. But he wasn't really on the score, so he didn't struggle with issues from it. He was just kind of off doing it. I think, though, that he definitely expressed his beliefs, heritage, or background in sort of helping to set this up. He can take an XP for that. But I think he probably, well, one or the other. Aaron, you decide what Elazar is taking the XP from. I think that, what about Vice or Trauma for Poor Violet or Urich?
I think poor Violet, yes. Her the ghastly image of her former sister showed up and shot a cop.
What's her vice? What's Poor Violet's vice?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. I think it's probably.
Well, it's on her.
It should be on the sheet.
Oh, where is it?
Wow, I mean,
It's-
you know, a lot of different
question.
things.
I guess opium.
That is an option in the game, so that could be what's on your sheet.
Where is it? I definitely picked something.
It's weird.
Weird,
It's
yes.
So she deals with weird forces as her vice.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say her sort of really codependent, but also toxic relationship with her dead sister counts, and she can take a point of XP for that.
Cool.
Jared,
What about?
remind me where we mark this XP. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
It's
That's
on
a
the-
good question.
There's two places. There's the playbook XP, and then there's the Insight Prowess
Yes.
Resolve. There's a bunch of different XP columns.
It's a super important question, and
Yeah.
in the other games I haven't been clear enough on this, so thank you for asking.
Yeah.
If it is so take playbook XP for the things I'm talking about right now. You
Okay.
were also welcome when you made desperate actions in a resolve action, a prowess action, or an insight action. You're also allowed to take XP points there. Does anybody remember having done that last time?
I didn't do it this time, but I did it the first session.
I don't remember.
I have some marked off over there, so I assume that's what it's from.
Yep. Keep an eye on that. Even during downtime, which we're doing tonight, sometimes you'll roll an action, and if it's desperate, then you are allowed to mark those off. And you want to try to get a little bit of points in insight, prowess, and resolve, because when you want to resist consequences that I levy against you, that's what you roll. You roll like just your full prowess rating or your resolve rating. So,
One more question. Sorry,
Please.
I have the vengeful thing. You gain an additional XP trigger if you get payback against someone who harmed you or someone you care about. Your crew. If your crew helps you get payback, you also mark crew XP. So I was doing something separate, but does that mean I mark 2 XP instead of just 1 XP? And then does that mean the
Yes.
crew gets additional XP?
yes and yes.
Great.
I say to that. So Clinton Trucks, if
Okay.
you could please mark another XP on the crew sheet.
Thank you.
Anytime you guys get revenge against racist Akarosi, Bina Jaffe is letting you double earn XP. It's kind of awesome.
That's great.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
So I get XP for.
Oh, that fills you up.
Oh, so what
Correct.
happens then?
That means you get to pick a special ability or crew upgrade. Let me make sure. Clint, do you know? Can they pick a upgrade instead of a
far
special
out.
ability if they wish? Let
me look it up.
Okay, and we're markings on our sheets too, right?
Marking what on your sheet?
The experience.
Only for the things I talked about that were individual, meaning
Right.
your playbook trigger, expressing your beliefs, heritage, or background, or
right,
struggling
right.
with issues from vice or trauma. This is just for the crew, the thing that Bina was just mentioning.
Sure.
And so we are going to look up. I think you can take a crew upgrade or no, I'm sorry, not or a special ability. Mr. Clinton Trucks.
It is a special ability or 2 upgrade boxes.
Ooh, why don't we go ahead and do that before we get into our downtime? So, if you could just, if you don't mind, Secret GM, zoom in a little bit so we can look at our players' options. Wow, you guys filled that up quickly. That special ability of Bina's is super useful. Okay, yes, thank you, sir. Okay,
Cool.
so you already have pack rats. Your layer is a jumble of stolen items. When you roll to acquire an asset, you get +1 dice. Because we know Drakk's books is filled with all kinds of weird artifacts and things. Everyone steals. Each PC may add +1 action rating to prowl, finesse, or tinker.
Ooh,
That's
that feels really good.
pretty huge.
I feel
Ghost
like
Echoes.
this one is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, of course, the Whisper
I
feels
was going
that
to
way.
say.
Well, now you guys would be able to see it too.
From weird experience or occult ritual, all crew members gain the ability to see and interact with ghostly structures, streets, and objects within the echo of Duskfall. I mean, it's not useful.
Eh?
I've kind of been doing that already, but I guess I would.
We could
I
need
would-
a ghost car.
I would rule that. I would rule that you don't need poor Violet to help you. You guys can kind of all do it on your own. Patron,
I can already do that. That's probably a skip.
when you advance your tier, it costs half the coin. Normally, it costs 8 coin to go up a tier. It might cost more when you get to like 3 or 4 or something like that. But that's a lot of coin actually. So that's interesting. I don't know who your patron would be, but we could talk about that. Second story, when you execute a clandestine infiltration, you get +1 die to the engagement roll. Engagement roll, if you recall, is at the beginning of a score. We roll some dice about how good or bad the situation is for you at the very beginning of the job, and sometimes it can start off pretty rough. Slippery, when you roll entanglements, roll twice and keep the one you want. Entanglements, we're about to roll them. It's kind of the fallout from the last job. Like, how do people react, including people on your own side? And a lot of times it has to do with like the cops rounding you up and things like that.
I mean, that's pretty good for especially for
And reduce heat seems good.
who are trying to keep a low profile.
Especially because I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. Look, I'm not trying to get you to pick this one, but it does fit for subtle. And I will say that last score, that was a lot of heat. Synchronized. When you perform a group action, you may count multiple 6s from different rolls as a critical success.
Nice.
That's kind of neat. Normally, you just I'd have to look up group action, but normally it doesn't work that way. 6s from other people's rolls don't really all add up to a critical. Let's look at crew upgrades, because you can take 2 of these. So these are less special abilities. They're more like stuff and extra things you have. Just to give you an idea, you can fill in 2 of these boxes with your level up right now. And so, for example, if you wanted to suddenly have higher quality documents and special pets, you can see you could have that.
Cool.
Training. You could get to where
special
like
pets. Stop. We're done.
Special
We
pet.
know what we need.
Isn't Barrow enough for
I'm
you?
ready. I want a ferret.
You are your
You could have
your daughter's
a
father.
cohort. You could upgrade your cohort. You could
Cohort.
You could make Drakk's books more secure, or give it a vault by filling in 2 boxes. Training means a downtime activity you can always take in downtime is you can train on one of your actions, but if you have one of those boxes checked, for example, you guys already have prowess because you're shadows. When you train, you tick the XP twice for it, so instead of just once. So that's pretty useful. Let's see, and then there's like, if we go up a little bit, my friend Mr. Clinton Trucks, you can see that you could upgrade your cohort, which are like the people that work for you. You could make them into elite skulks or elite rooks. You could get underground maps and pass keys, or you could get some thief rigging, 2 free load tools or gear when you go on jobs. What do people think? Any thoughts? Does the chat
I like
have
that
any
slippery.
idea?
We're about to get all this heat on us. So.
Yeah, I was more interested in the abilities.
Chat is suggesting ponies, and I'm always pro ponies. Everyone gets a horse.
Many ponies.
We would like to take 2 crew
4
upgrades.
ponies, please. What would remind me what the first ability was?
Yeah, I liked either everyone steals or slippery.
I think
Those both seem good.
Slippery is more immediately valuable and will help us overall maintain this air of subtlety we're trying to go for.
It feels the most us of all
that, and that feels like one of those upgrades that you pick where it's like, well, I need more hay, so I could buy more hay, or I could buy this incredible pitchfork that will get me more hay over the long run. Does this make sense?
I'm gonna go with Kind of.
4 ponies, please. All this.
Hey for the ponies.
Yeah. Thank
Bina's
you,
all
yeah.
in on
Slippery,
improve.
slippery for sure, I think is the move.
I vote slippery.
I'm
Same.
hearing slippery. I'm hearing
Yeah, I
slippery
vote
from
slippery.
everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Slippery it
oil
is.
up this crew.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be immediately useful to you. Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Slippery
Okay.
ponies?
Grease
all
up them
slippery now.
ponies.
Amazing.
So,
Slippery ponies?
Mm,
payout time, everybody. Payout from the last job.
Yeah.
Your grateful informants, the drudges, offer up a one-time tribute to you worth 4 coin. 4 coin. And you must pay the grinders in Hutton 1 coin.
Sounds...
Unless you'd like to, not pay him, which is always an option, but it can sometimes cause problems with the boss of your district if you don't pay what he says is due.
Let's
Let
pay.
him get his beak wet.
yeah, it's paying time, I think.
Very good. Now here's the fun part. Heat. Guys, I looked through it and I could have gone really mean and gone like to +6 heat, but that's crazy. I don't think it was quite that bad. Like you said, you kept your identities pretty under wraps at least. But I do think this is a +4 heat score that you went on. The golem went on a rampage, and the
Yikes.
bluecoats are now looking for a gang that is kind of, responsible for shooting a cop, shooting one of the bluecoats.
Never heard about it.
That's going to give you +4 heat. Just to remind people how heat works, once that little bar is full, you're going to get a wanted level of 1. And that affects how the cops treat you when they interact with you. Eventually, when they find you or come across you, they'll know who you are, and they will arrest you, and you will go to Iron Hook Prison. And then there are rules for what happens when your character is in prison. If you can,
And
What
you could
happens
spend
there?
You could spend a lot of time there.
yes. So
I don't
Yeah.
think this crew is fit for prison.
No.
We're
Who
a
should
bunch
go?
of softies.
the old man, the little girl, or the old lady who's also a professor, or I think Urich might be okay. He's a young man.
I've already been.
Uh,
I did a nickel in Chino.
it is time to roll entanglements. And so when we roll entanglements, one of you choose who you would like to do this. Is going to roll some dice, and we're going to find out how the world reacted to your last score. I would love if you would roll 2 dice and take the lower, because I think you roll your wanted level and it's still at 0. So who would like to be who has lucky dice?
Elazar.
Urist, yeah.
Grease them up.
Right.
Roll those slippery dice.
So here's the cool thing, right? Let's bring that special ability up one more time, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Clinton Trucks, because it applies now. Slippery is all about rolling those entanglements, and you can choose which one you get, kind of. You're going to be able to roll, I think it said roll twice. Yes. Roll twice and keep the one you want. So that's
Sweet.
excellent. So go ahead and do that. Roll 2d6. Tell me the lower of the 2 numbers you roll,
And then do that again?
and then do it again.
Okay, 1.
Ooh.
4.
Very good. All right, so this is fun. It's a good thing you're slippery, because your 2 choices, and I'll tell you a little bit about what they are interrogation. The bluecoats just swept through Char Hollow and picked one of you up and are interrogating you. Or demonic notice. A demon is going to interact with your crew in some way, and you're a slippery bunch. So which would you? And now look, I'm not gonna lie, but neither is good. And some entanglements are kind of beneficial for your crew. Neither of these is good, but which one are you going to go with? And the slippery lets you choose it. of course, the chat is going, Demon!
I
I'm
think we
going
have to
demon
not
too.
choose
Of
the
course,
demon.
Violet's going
Yeah.
demon.
Let's
Yeah.
leave
I
a
don't know. I
demon.
like
We
it.
already have a
I like
demon.
it.
The golem's a demon.
I think we should
and
not do
we
the
have
demon.
2 demons. You know,
But
we can
also-
we can beat up their demon.
Where do we keep the golem when it's not in the field?
In
Closet.
the closet in a bookstore. It's very
Cool.
secure.
Yeah, just making sure.
Where is the golem, Jared?
The golem, we have decided, Aaron and I talked before the stream. We think that the golem didn't come back after the last score, that the golem is
Oh,
just
no.
out there somewhere
Oh
wreaking
God!
havoc.
Having a full-on Frankenstein of an evening.
Having a full-on Frankenstein of an unlife, perhaps.
Oh, it was Golem's day out.
Yes.
He's going to the museum.
He's at the carnival
He's
right now.
dancing in the
I think
parade.
we can deal with the blue coats. We took this slippery thing not so that we could juke ourselves into the demon zone.
Yeah, but okay. So, do you think that? Do you feel confident about speaking to the cops?
Yeah, if I have
I
to.
don't. I'm terrified.
Oh, is it?
Surprise!
is it-
It's a cop demon. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Officer Hellfire.
All right, we need a spin-off of Officer Hellfire.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Demon
I wouldn't
cop.
do that to you. So Aaron is voting interrogation. How are other people feeling?
I vote interrogation as well.
I'm voting interrogation.
You are outvoted, poor Violet, with your toxic addiction to demons.
I'll find my own demon.
And so, someone is questioned by the blue coats, and I'll do you one more better. Who is it that is questioned?
Not it.
Who gets picked? Who do the blue coats
Oh,
scoop up
oh.
in their dragnet?
I wasn't there.
But maybe when you come back, maybe that's why they got you. Maybe that's
Yeah.
part of why you weren't there. Maybe
No, I know.
Yeah.
That it feels like that's why I'm
You have an
I'm a
amazing-
better interviewer because I literally had nothing to do with
Yeah.
it.
You have an iron tight alibi.
I think
Yeah.
that's really
Watertight,
good.
iron tight. I don't know what the
Yeah,
word
it's
is
okay.
anymore.
It's a thing. It'll catch on.
Well, here's how interrogation works.
Terrified
You
of this.
You can either well let's set the scene a little bit. So Bina, Jaffe, you're being investigated by like a blue coat inspector and a couple other blue coats, and they just look like, you've dealt with criminals as a member of this gang of shadows. And the thing that you notice when you're up close with these blue coats is that even the guy who's the inspector, he looks like a thug as much as the Grinders or Ulf Ironborn do. You know what I mean? Like, your
Yeah.
crew actually look like what they are, academics and people that study things. And these guys look like Ulf Ironborn's gang, but you know them actually that they are blue coats. They're tattooed. They have scars on their faces. They're no better than common thugs, and they are screaming at you, "Tell us who used the weapon." And after they scream at you for a while, you realize that they think the golem is some sort of weapon, some sort of bomb or something that
Sure.
that the Skovlanders have set off. We know you know who it is. Tell us. And they're using every kind of horrible epithet against Skovlanders, and there are no good cop. It's all bad cop.
Bad cop after bad cop.
It's
rolling
the apples finally got to him.
Yes, and that
Bad
Bina
apple.
Jaffe is going to make this decision. Bina
Okay.
Jaffe gets to make this decision. You can either bribe the blue coats with 3 coin, or they beat you up,
Jesus.
and there's another consequence from that. I'm not going to tell you. So
Being beat up. I think.
Well, being beat up means level 2 harm. We'll go on
Yeah.
our sheet.
Do you have 3 coin?
I don't personally know.
It would
I
have
have-
to come from the group.
From group coin, yeah.
Yeah, group coin, which I'm going to say, the video game of Blades in the Dark will allow you to withdraw it from the group.
Sure.
Give it to the blue coats right now, but the other characters don't get to vote. Bina Jaffe is the only one who gets to decide this because she's the one that took the risk.
I don't think she'd bribe these cops. She's a tough old lady and she hates them. Like I don't think she's
Well, that's. I mean, as a game master, I hate it when I have to say, "Okay, the cops beat up this old lady."
Yeah. That's on them. That's on them.
And I told you there was a consequence beyond just getting beaten up. So to Bina Jaffe's sheet, I would like you to add a level 2 harm called severely beaten.
I knew it. See, I called it.
And when Bina Jaffe gets back to Drakk's books, she's badly bruised, but there's a worse consequence, which is that the cops got you to kind of they kind of you know what? I'm gonna rule. It says that you tell them what they want to know. I don't think that that's what actually happened.
Bina.
No, I don't think that Bina
I
would do
didn't.
that.
I think she's like I think it would be a very stubborn thing.
Jared,
Yeah.
She has an opportunity to resist both of these harm and telling them what they want.
Click coming in hot.
All right.
Where did he go?
Do you want to resist the consequence?
Resist the consequence of getting beaten up?
Yeah.
I think she would specifically like. Do I have to pick one? How does this work?
Right. Well, she has to resist each of them separately, and when you resist a consequence, you take stress.
Okay.
You roll a die, and you take stress. So, would she like to try to resist both?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I'll try and
so
resist
let's
both.
try to resist the level 2 harm that's coming at her first. Okay.
Okay.
So that will be. I think that's going to be. She can't really like fight them in an interrogation room, so I think it's resolved. She just is like being like, Bina's a tough old lady. She's all wiry muscle.
She's wiry, and she's got like this short kind of like hair that's just. She's been drinking. She's just spent the last time she was drinking. What did we say? We said some horrible liqueur, aquavit in a chess club. She's used to bullies.
So she's going to suffer 6 stress for resisting this consequence, minus the highest die roll from the resistance roll, and I'm going to have her roll her resolve to resist. So let's. Do we have Bina's sheet? I think I have.
I have 1 dot in resolve. It's on consort.
Oh, okay. Then it's going to be 1 die. So you're taking 6 stress minus 1.
Just roll
dies.
6.
Roll a 6.
Yeah.
Right. I rolled a 6.
Okay,
Yeah, you did.
This is the kind of fun stuff that dice do, where these guys are like beating this old lady, and they're like, he's like, hurt her, and they're like, nothing's hurting her. I don't know. She's too drunk. She's kind of
too
enjoying
drunk.
it. Oh, great!
Oh.
To ruin our fucking fun. What is it, Clint? How does the thing I just narrated not happen?
The chat said I like old ladies, so I just have to say resisting only makes it a level 1 harm. She still gets the shit beat out of her.
Oh, thank God we got the rules perfectly correct.
Narratively, that's much better. I get to come back like, look what you guys did.
All right. Rules. You all.
What happens? What happens
chat,
if I?
You guys in your rules.
Okay, but I do technically have a level 1 harm. I'm still disoriented from last time.
You're going to take 1 more because there's 2 spaces there.
Are there? Oh, I see.
Yep.
I see.
This will be just called bruised.
Oh,
because they do bruise you a little bit, and you see that once that bar is filled on in level 1, it means you have less effect. So until Bina heals this up, her stuff, I always say that whether your action roll when you succeed is going to be limited, standard, or great effect, she will be 1 rung less on that ladder until she heals that up. She's still disoriented and bruised. She's not doing so well.
It's a tough life.
But you pulled it off.
I think resolve will be how she resists the second consequence too, which is telling them what they want to hear. And by telling them what they want to hear, I'm not going to take that at the letter of what the book says. I'm going to say that she comes off as extremely suspicious, and the crew will take 3 more heat, which means their wanted level will go up to 1. So, do you still want to resist that?
So if I resist it, we don't go to take 3 heat? I think
that's right. And but you will
I would
take
try
stress.
to
6 stress minus whatever you roll on that 1 die.
I will attempt to resist this as well.
Very good. Go for it.
This one's a 4. So I take 2 stress. So pretty
stress. Good. You did awesome, actually. Bina Jaffe shows back up. She hasn't been severely beaten down, but she has kind of a black eye, a busted lip. But she didn't talk. She didn't give them 1 inch. And they've just been kind of, eventually they're like, we have to move on to beating the next person. And, they're like, the guy pulls out a pocket watch and he's like, come on, guys. Yeah, we got, we got like 15 more guys waiting out there. And they're like, fine.
3.
And they release her back out into Char Hollow. And Bina has kept the crew quiet and settled. Nice work on the entanglements, everybody.
Very good.
And thank you, Chad, actually, and Clinton Trucks for reminding me about resistance, a rule that I think is a great rule, but don't like because as a game master, I want to hurt everybody. Okay, so that was entanglement, and now we get to choosing your downtime activities, everybody. Elazar, you're back.
I'm back.
Last time you were lost in your vice
book
for
madness.
Score,
Yep.
But your
And now I'm obsessed. I have that trauma, which I took not realizing how bad it is to get trauma, but I think it makes sense.
What we can do right now is we can kind of free play a little bit, meaning you don't have to do one of your downtime activities when I call on you. You could say, I want to kind of look into our next score or talk about some of the potential scores that were already out there for us, because there were a couple out there. And then, eventually we can get to your downtime activities. But I just want to remind you what the downtime activities are, and you each get 2 per downtime. And then if you want to pay some coin, you can have extra.
We get +1 downtime action also because of my special spider ability.
There you go. And is it you that takes that action?
It's me or another crew member.
Oh, great.
I get to give it to myself or someone else.
Excellent. All right, so the downtime activities are indulging your vice, which removes stress, which is important because you don't want to go into your next score with a pretty full stress meter, because once your stress is full during a score, you're out of the game. Like, it's basically going, dying, like you're out.
I'm too stressed to rob right now.
You know what, guys? It's not a good week for me. I'm really stressed.
You can't.
I'll be in the
so
tub.
much on my plate.
Good luck with the rob.
You can use downtime activity to train. So you mark 1 XP on the XP track for an attribute or a playbook advancement. Or if your crew is already has that as one of its features, that it, for example, you guys have prowess training, you get 2 little checks. Reduce heat. Your heat is quite high right now. And if you wanted to never even get to that level 1 wanted level, you might do that. You have to tell me what you would do to reduce the heat, and then you're going to make an action roll and reduce heat according to that result. Recover. You have to talk to a physiker or somebody that can heal you. And you seek treatment, and they roll based on like their tier or their ability to kind of remove some of your harm. Long-term project. I create a clock for something your character is working on long-term, and when then that clock fills up based on rolls that you make, that thing comes to pass. It's usually not getting a weapon, because that's acquiring an asset. It's stuff like in one of our other crews, one of them is trying to own his own racehorse so he can become one of the owners at the Char Hollow Downs racetrack.
Sure.
People
Plus, then you get to name a racehorse.
Right. Another guy is like casing an enemy faction that he's hated and has a vendetta against, so he will know every single thing about them when they finally strike against them. And then there is acquire an asset. And that is you can acquire for just the next job an expert or a gang, a vehicle, or some kind of service that you want for just your next score. So keep all of those in mind, but also that you could just kind of talk about the next score instead when I come to you. And since we haven't heard from Urich in a while, let's hit Urich. Urich, what would you like to do?
Not to back us up a ton, but going back to the XP, I just wanted to see if I could get XP for this. You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I feel like we definitely had some mayhem at the end, although it wasn't necessarily by my creation, but I was curious.
Yeah, so that's a playbook, your playbook, so it has to be mayhem you created. So
Okay.
What mayhem did you create in the last score? Or what technical skill did you use?
I don't think I did any. I mean, I used my venomous ability when I sort of drugged the professor.
That's true.
And our friend Shaka in the chat is saying that you drugged a guy, and that counts as technical skill.
That's true.
You get an XP.
Oh
You
God!
did-
Thank God!
Right.
Thank
You
God!
get an XP, and you get an XP,
Hell
and
yeah.
you get an XP.
Hell yeah. Keep going,
okay.
Andrew.
Okay, no, that I didn't. I only got one XP. I was foolish, and I didn't really play my my earning XP on the playbook. Anyway,
No problem.
in my downtime, is it possible? And I don't think that this is possible, but I just want to ask: is it possible to indulge in my vice to relieve stress and have that be part of a long-term project that just consumes both my things, right?
Sure, but we could kind of do both of your things right now if you've got them locked and loaded, ready to go.
I've got them ready to go. Unless
What's your vice?
experimenting with poisons and drugs.
Cool.
Wow, is that a weird vice?
Stupor, probably.
The
Pretty
vices
common.
are faith, gambling, luxury, obligation, pleasure, stupor, and weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Okay.
great. Yeah. So, and then you also want a long-term project to deal with this.
I do. Yeah,
What is the
I
long-term project?
went to poison Professor Ludwig with Heart Calm, and I'm going to experiment with Heart Calm to see if it can be tasted. And I want to use the dredges to gradually put it into his food because I don't believe that he actually came around
Okay.
on Skovlanders.
Oh, what a heartless bastard you are. The score is over, but Urich's not done. He doesn't think it's over.
Hey, listen.
Um,
People don't
I'm gonna
change.
say, you're in a good position to do that. We know that one of the, his personal assistant is now kind of loyal to you guys. So I'm going to say that's a 4 segment clock. You can let's do the indulging your vice roll first.
Okay.
That.
Oh, I've got my project clocks right here.
Yeah, so write down project clock poison Professor Ludwig. And that'll be 4 segments. I think you're perfectly poised to do it. It shouldn't take too long to do that. And here we go. Indulging your vice. We are going to have you. You're going to make an attribute roll using your character's lowest attribute rating. So, insight, prowess, or resolve, my friend, as you are experimenting with Heart Calm for hours in your tiny little student garret apartment. Mixing it, diluting it just a little bit, like getting it to where it doesn't have quite an odor to it at all, like undetectable. And then, now you're getting ready to taste the Heart Calm, to take a little bit, something that could potentially kill you, to send you over to the other side through the veil. Yes.
Okay, so I can just choose. Can I choose Tinker?
It must be your insight, prowess, or resolve.
Oh, just the overall one.
Yeah, and that's the vertical column, right?
Yeah, I'll
what's
do
your lowest?
Insight.
Okay, and do you have 1 or 0 in that?
I have 1. I have
Okay,
a tie for 1 for lowest.
Okay, very good. So go ahead and give me. So how much stress does a Urich have after the last score?
It's 5 stress.
Okay, so chances are he's safe. He probably won't overindulge and roll a 6. If he rolls a 6, he overindulges and something crazy happens, like it did to Elazar last time. But and this time you characterized your vice as tasting poison. So that's an interesting situation you put yourself in. Go ahead and roll your 1 die for insight, and let's see how it goes.
All right. 3.
3. Okay, so you relieve 3 stress. You haven't overindulged. And now we're going to do your long-term project clock. And that works as follows. Here we go. You're going to roll. What do you roll here? I know what... what did we roll for the long-term project? God damn it. You're going to roll a die, and if you get 1 to 3, you'll have filled 1 segment, 4 to 5, 2 segments, 6, 3 segments, and if you get a critical, 5 segments. But I need to know what you roll here.
Somebody says action
rating.
rating.
You get to choose an action. Yeah, so what action are you using to do this?
I think I'm using Tinker.
I'll allow it. I mean, you just described how you're endangering your life by tinkering with the poison. So, and this is so Raskolnikov, like fucking Dostoevsky, a student like preparing an anarchist student preparing a poison in his fucking tiny, slum apartment, and then handing it off to like a maid every day who's putting a little bit into the professor's food. Let's go for it. Roll your tinker and let's see what you roll.
Great. And just remind me, if I have 2 dots, I roll 2 dice, correct?
That's right. And we'll go with whatever the highest number is.
Cool. Sorry, my brain is overflowing with TTRPG knowledge. I got a 4 as my highest.
A 4. So a 4 means, as we said, that we are going to say that 2 segments have been filled. You are halfway to ending the life of Professor Ludwig. And unless our spider, our mastermind, gives you another action, you have fulfilled your downtime activities for this session. Good. You got rid of a little bit of stress, and you are pursuing a fatal and deadly vendetta.
Perfect.
I love that this qualifies as the project.
Yeah. I just need some chill.
It's this
I just need some
downtime.
chill time to poison
I
this
just need some
asshole.
time for me.
Work on my own
It's
project.
my downtime. I'm gonna murder someone slowly.
Oh yeah, this is a
murder
bad heart calm is a
someone.
bad one. It slows your heartbeat
I wanna
gradually
murder.
till your heart doesn't beat anymore.
I'll add one little thing to this little scene, Urich. The whole time you're working with Heart Calm, you look over at your friend Veldrin, who's kind of mad and in pain all the time because of your experiments, and you think, if I need to, this would send him through the veil peacefully. Poor Violet.
That's true.
Poor
Jesus.
Violet.
Poor Violet. Poor Violet.
And you can just do one thing right now, or
Yes.
you can do as Andrew did, 2 things, or you could, as I said, gather information for your next score, look into some scores. It's up to you.
Sure. I think I would like to try and reduce our heat.
Great.
And I think I'm going to do so by using Sway to try and get a story in the Scoveland community newspaper telling the story of the golem attack our way.
Interesting. I
Very
love
cool.
that. That is very cool. Okay. Well then, my friend, you're just going to make that action roll.
I
and
still
we're
got to
gonna-
roll it.
Yes. You're going to roll your sway, and we're going to reduce the heat according to your result.
Okay, so I have 1 check in the Sway. Is that just 1 die?
That means 1 die. So whatever
1
you roll,
die,
that's how much
baby.
heat's going to go away.
Okay, 2.
2. So 2 heat go away.
It's not a 1.
And the Scoveland, let's call it the Indomitable Trumpet, is the name of their
Love it.
kind of like
Put it in the wiki. Put it in the wiki. I don't want that
In
one
the
forgotten.
wiki. Michelle, get it in the wiki. So the Indomitable Trumpet, which is a terrible name, but you could tell I came up with it
Sure.
off the top of my head, and maybe like, well, these guys aren't very good at journalism.
Sure.
They're mainly anarchists. The Indomitable Trumpet runs the legend that you guys sort of told Professor Ludwig.
Yes.
Yes.
The self same one. I kind of faked a fit, and I was like, it's an agent of, vengeance from all the Scovelanders who have been punished by the wicked.
Go ahead. Can you just tell me, like, take a moment and just kind of tell me, a little more of what it says, or exactly what?
Sure. I think it says something to the effect. I think we name it herein, and that creature is called, the like Hell's Bellow or something.
It's as good as the Indomitable Trumpet.
Sure. And every year, like when enough Scoveland, or no, let's say every 50 years, when enough Scoveland torment has filled up the walls of its hellish lair, it comes forth to unleash that vengeance, and maybe take a body part and turn himself into it's Jeepers Creepers. It's the same thing as Jeepers Creepers.
I just love that poor Violet was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw some other ideas in here I've been having. Like, she just gets like really creative with it, and it ends up being this really kind of like, well, here's why it works, but it doesn't. It's not incredible.
He's
They
misunderstood.
got rid of 2 heat for you because it's a very confusing story.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of elements to it, and people
Sure.
who are reading it are like, "Is that? I haven't heard this legend.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on."
Mhm.
But that's good on you. You've reduced the crew's heat by a little bit.
Great.
You've actually helped the subtlety reputation, by reducing heat. Would you like to pass, or would you like to do anything else?
I think that's it. I will
Very
pass.
good. Then let's talk to Bina Jaffe, who just had a rough time in the hands of the Bluecoats. What would Bina like to do with her first downtime activity or gathering information?
With her first downtime activity, I think we are going to return to her friend Melvier,
Yes.
excuse me.
Yes.
Melvier is an old academic friend who runs a secret physician's office out of the back of what we decided was basically a gas station,
Right,
like a
it was like
convenience store.
Yes.
I can't think of an old timey phrase for it, but it's a gas station. Like it's in the back of a Rite Aid.
Walmart.
Is like a 7-Eleven type of thing.
It's a very poor pharmacy general store.
Yeah, general store. That's what I'm looking for.
There it is.
So she was there last week or just before this score and was a little disoriented, and she's gonna wander in again, this time battered with bruises from the police.
Okay, and did she have some of her project clock for her healing?
Yes.
Filled one segment.
3 actually.
She
She
had
rolled very
3
well.
filled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So maybe now she'll finally get rid of that disoriented. Or would she like him to work on this bruised issue she's having?
So Project Clock fill to reduce all harm by 1 level. So that just gets rid of one of them.
Oh! No, you are absolutely right. I'm sorry, Bina Jaffe. This will also help your bruised.
Perfect.
You will reduce it all by 1 level, and you only have level 1s right now. So Melvier, last time he had to like quickly get you out of the shop.
Yeah.
This time you kind of get an appointment with him, this apothecary, after he's like closed up shop for the night, and he's like, Bina, what happened to you?
I got questioned by the police. I wasn't involved. But I couldn't tell them what they were looking for, those bastards.
We're all upstanding citizens, he says, like pulling out a couple like illegal chemicals. Like, I can't believe they hassle us so much.
Yeah, we're doing our best to support the city,
A little bit of trance powder, which is an illegal contraband, and then you see his eyes dilate, and he gets to work on you. It's more of a massage with sort of a kind of a hot, icy hot balm. But the smell of it makes you focus in and makes you lose your disorientation. Let's see. Yes, he rolled a 4, which means that you lose 2 segments, which is enough to lose all of your segments, which means, Bina Jaffe, your harm is gone.
Ah, see what police beating?
Yeah. Well,
Who was just beaten up by the cops?
What
Not
are you,
this old
Congress?
lady.
and then he applies just a really great makeup job because it's it's like you said, a Rite Aid.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no way to tell that she even has any bruises or black eyes.
All right. Thank you.
Let's say that is done. And would she like to pass, or would you like to? Do you have something else?
That is all I have for that action.
Okay. All right. Think about what your next move will be, and let's talk to Elazar Drakkher.
Okay. I think Ellie would like to try to reduce our heat as well.
What action is he going to take?
I think he's going to use consort to spread a rumor amongst the sort of neighborhood where the violence took place that it wasn't a golem at all. It was, in fact, like the Bluecoats were saying, some kind of weapon that was used by some rival of Dr. Ludvin's in order to try to destroy him.
And he's doing this by just like talking to his friends in the neighborhood, right? And kind of like
consorting.
Heard. Yeah,
he's a gossip.
Muddy those waters.
I have a friend who's an information broker, so maybe I use them to sort of kind of get that out there.
Oh yeah, who's your information broker friend?
Salia.
So you're dropping Salia's name. You and what is your consort rating?
2.
You can roll 2 dice, friend, and whatever your highest roll is, that is how much heat will be reduced.
All right. And due to our new crew ability, we get extra dice for reducing heat, right?
Oh my gosh, I should have helped Jordan with that. I forgot about that. Jordan, yes, if you get, what does it say exactly? Let's bring up that special ability. You take +1 die. Jordan, go ahead and roll another die because you should have gotten this.
You rolled a 2.
That's an additional 2. So 4.
Okay, so 2 was your roll.
2 is the roll, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but good to know that we have that now, and we shouldn't forget. And so that means you may do as well, Elazar.
So I get to roll 3 dice and take the highest result.
That's right.
6.
My friend,
6,
your
a 1 and a
heat goes
3.
down by 6. Where does that put our heat
Subtle
now?
once again.
Dude,
Do I
these
over it
guys,
nothing?
Who's got a cop? Not me.
They have no
Nobody
idea.
knows.
It's the family circus ghost. Not me.
The rumors going around Char Hollow about what happened are like they even get back to you eventually, Elazar. Like you're having lunch with a friend, and he's like the Circle of the Flame found an artifact in the Lost District. They brought it back here.
Love
it
it.
ignited, and you're like, Like, the
Yes.
rumors now between Poor Violet's Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
and your gossip.
I think
it's.
I like the
by-
idea that you've totally muddied the waters.
I think by the time Poor Violet's story hits newsstands, it's basically the Ghost Rider. It's like if you were to see it, you'd be like, yeah, okay. It's Ghost Rider.
Well, suffice to say, heat is at 0, and this is truly a subtle crew.
Hell yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I'm just gonna cut to Urich for a moment. He's already used up his actions. I saw in the chat. Andrew was like, "Was it rude to take both of my actions?"
No
I
way,
don't
dude.
think so. I think it's actually quite polite.
Quite
'cause it means
beneficial.
You
Yeah.
get yourself out of the way, but I don't want to just leave Urich sitting there the whole time. So I'll just say briefly that sometimes he has to clean up after Veldrin, and it's messy.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now Urich is wiping his friend's ass. Okay.
I
Violet.
totally missed this character, by the way. I have no idea what's going on with your weird roommate.
Oh yeah,
I think you know enough. I think.
yeah.
That you could end his life and go
Well,
boy.
He has a
No.
very sick friend that is completely dependent on him, and it's
Oh,
partly due
no.
to their experiments in poison together.
Yeah, we both experimented with some fucked up poisons, and I recovered, and he didn't. And it was kind of my idea to do it. So
Oh,
I'm
no.
taking care of him.
Yeah,
It's dark.
that's sweet
It's-
of you. That's so dark.
Yeah.
It was the 90s. They were going to see Ween.
We wanted to touch the ghost field.
You don't go to see the Butthole Surfers without taking 9 tabs of acid, Bina.
Taking 9
Shot
tabs
up
of
some
heart slow.
quicksilver or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Poor Violet.
Yes.
Would you like to pick another downtime activity
Um,
or gather information on a score?
You know, I was thinking I would kind of like to use a tune to dip a toe into the ghost realm and sort of talk to sort of try to smooth things over with Rose and ask her not to kill any more police. I know that she has one more appearance basically, and I'm gonna basically try to talk her out of that appearance, or at least, you know, maybe it could be something nice when you show up this time.
Very good. I'll allow you to roll the attune action, which not only kind of allows you to speak to spirits, but sometimes to sort of control them or calm them. And that's what you're trying to do. Please describe, what is your ritual when you do this with your sister, when you summon her?
I think she cuts a piece of pie, that like lovely Rose's favorite pie, and she takes it up and places it in front of the mirror, and Rose appears on the other side of the mirror and starts eating the reflection of the pie, and they share this pie while they don't really speak so much as they write in that notebook, and they can kind of each hear it, one writing on one side of the notebook, the other answering on the other side.
Beautiful. Yeah, roll a tune. That's a really cool description.
Cool. Okay, I have 2 in a tune, so it's just 2 die, right? And I take the higher.
That's right.
I did it. That's 1. Well, I've rolled a 1, so... Oh, no, it's a 3.
Okay, 1 to 3 is a failure.
Well...
But here's what I want to say.
Mhm.
She doesn't show up. And that is maybe perhaps more disturbing than her showing up, when she bullies you and scares you and frightens you. The pie sits there uneaten, and night passes, and by morning you can see that there are some flies buzzing on it, but there is something else in the room. In the room is an enormous kind of like iron. It looks like a spear or like a long like stake, like and it looks like it has engineering to it that you don't recognize. Like it looks very old. It's covered in like barnacles and miter, and there are strange runes carved into the side of it that to your attuned eyes are glowing faintly. Do you have any idea what this is?
I don't think I do.
Well, I will remind you that last time you talked to your sister before the score, she told you about artifacts that were being analyzed and studied in Bellwether Crematorium.
Oh, that's right.
Apparently, she stole one for you on her own
Right.
and dropped it into the middle of your room. And if anybody is keeping track of them, they're going to perhaps find a path back to you.
Can she wake up next to it in bed like the Godfather?
Not again.
But it's a very strange artifact.
Sort of a harpoon.
It looks like some kind of harpoon, but like huge, like a normal person couldn't throw it.
Sure.
Like, this thing is like a Stonehenge size
How did
almost
she-
harpoon. You know that Simpsons where Mr. Burns gives them the giant Olmec head?
Oh, Senor
That's-
Extapolapa kettle?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you wake up with in your bed with you. It's like this enormous, ancient, glowing artifact.
Well, I failed my roll. So I think, following that, I would immediately contact Elazar and be like, I think I fucked up.
Well then let's hop over. We'll hop over to Elazar, and he can deal with this, or he can just take his next downtime.
Go back into the room.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Oi.
I don't have time for this. No, if she's distraught about this thing, I can come and look at it, I guess.
Very good. Yeah. So you're looking at an enormous. Enormous. It looks like it might be a weapon or
Like
something of
7
antique
a.m.
origin. Yeah.
She's in her nightgown. She's babbling. She's like, I didn't even wake up. Usually she wakes up, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess I'll travel over to wherever it is that Violet lives. Where do you live?
In the bookstore.
Yeah, I have a
Oh,
place.
you live.
I have a
Oh,
room
it's in the bookstore. I thought this was in your parents'
My
house.
parents think I'm studying here. Do you not even know? No one pays attention.
I'm going to say that the layer
Well,
has a room each person can use.
Sure. Okay.
I live under the stairs. All Harry Potter.
Apparently, Elazar is not very happy with the sleeping arrangement, but
No, it's fine. I just, I'm always scrawling on the walls and stuff. It keeps me very busy.
I wouldn't want a terrifying little ghost girl.
Yeah,
Sleeping.
it's you. You are not the problem with. It's not you.
It's that I'm terrified of you.
No, it's that you have a ghost sister who's
Right.
always trying to steal my golems and is bringing tchotchkes
Sure.
from under the sea. The tchotchkes always with the unliftable harpoons.
What do we do about it? Surely it can't stay here. They'll find.
Why? What even is this thing?
Do you
Can I
tell
study
me?
it?
you can study. You're a good person to see something like this. You can study it.
Is there any way I can aid Elazar using my ghosto vision with the glowing
You know
in the
what?
rooms?
You absolutely can. What is the rule for aiding somebody else? I believe that you'll take 2 stress, and he will automatically get an extra die. Let me make sure I am correct about that.
I got 3 stress from the last one. I
One
might-
stress, Jared.
One stress. Very good. So you take 1 stress if you would like. My friend, poor Violet, and our friend Elazar will get +1 die on his study roll. Would you like to do
Okay.
that?
Yes, let's do it. I'll take a stress.
It makes
Okay.
sense that you would take stress from this.
Because I was
You are
thinking of
stressed.
that. Right.
Yeah.
and,
You had a-
How did she even
Harpoon
get this
appear in your bed.
Sure.
yes.
For the again, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
This can't keep happening, Violet.
It's not always harpoons.
Why is there pie?
I just rolled 3 6s on 3 dice.
What?
Okay.
Who is this guy?
I swear to God.
You
Whoa.
you immediately realize based on your when you went crazy reading for weeks that
Yes.
this is one of 6 stones that were plunged through the body of a great ancient demon called Satara that dwells, according to legend, in the bay outside of Duskfall. And if the spirit wardens are studying these things, that means that depending on how many they have, Satara may be freed to destroy everyone and bring its evil back to the world. And one of them is in poor Violet's bed. The rest are in Bellwether Crematorium. And if they've pulled all of them out of the bottom of the sea, that means they've pulled them out of Satara's body. And there is going to be trouble. In other words, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's a potential cataclysm. I wouldn't want it in my bed.
I don't. Cataclysm.
Yeah, sure.
So we've got to get it out. We've got to get it back.
Meanwhile, with
Is that our next heist? Is putting this
Is
back?
putting it back?
In the ocean? Oh my god.
Unstealing something?
Unsealing this thing.
Very subtle.
Yeah, there's nothing more subtle than unstealing something.
Truly.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't
the
know
other
how
thing
good this particular crew is but in plunging to the bottom of the ocean
Look,
to
Right,
re-spear
that's not us. But maybe
Not really
Only
our
thing I'll
forte.
say, Elazar, I'll only say this, which is that you don't know how many of these stones have been pulled out of the corpus of Sitara at the bottom of the bay, but if Bellwether Crematorium has the rest of them, you're not sure that putting one stone back into Sitara's body will keep it asleep. And if they have pulled the rest of them, that's a very bad thing. So it could also, and is not necessarily, but could also be a potential heist from Bellwether Crematorium. The only problem with that, guys, and I have to be honest with you, this all happened randomly through these rolls and these strange things happening. Like it wasn't like highly planned, but it's all stuff that's in the book. Of potential plots going on in the background. The problem is that the Spirit Wardens stealing from Bellwether Crematorium is extremely, almost impossible for you guys. The Spirit Wardens are a high tier group. Let's see, they are tier 4, and you guys are, I think, still tier 0. It would be an extremely ambitious job. Or you could just hope that putting this one back in the bay would do the trick. Let's move to Bina Jaffe while they all think about that. Bina, what would you like your next activity to be?
Hang on. Excuse me, the pressure was too much.
Elvira also gives you, he's like, this will help with your allergies.
yeah, oh god. Okay, well, I was gonna look into the next heist, but I suppose we found it.
I'm not sure we have.
You have another downtime activity coming to you.
I mean, maybe we.
And you don't necessarily...
so there is a third out there, right? We would just get 2, right?
You get 2, but you've only done 1, I think, right?
Yeah. That's when I was gonna spend it just trying to find a thing. But can I do is there a way that I can use like training to where's my sheet? I can use training to like learn about this myth, like learn about the spears and the demon and the bottom of the bay.
You could do a gather information roll.
Sure, let's do
gather
that.
Information roll is going to like teach you more about this potential score, right? Let's see here. I'm going to make sure I get this correct. Let's do it by the rules, guys. Come on.
I'm just wondering out loud while he's doing that. Maybe we don't give it back? Maybe it could be ours.
Or maybe we need to get rid of it.
I don't know.
What are we going to do with this giant spear?
Well, they
chained
a demon with it once. Maybe we could do it again.
Okay.
It's not a Scoville effect, so it's...
It would be our
character
demon.
gather info, Bina? What action does Bina use to gather info?
I would call this a study.
Studying, okay.
Yeah, about this particular like myth and this artifact that we found and that kind of thing. I mean, I don't think I can really hunt for this sort of information. So
very good. Yeah. So and can you tell me what the specific question? Think of a specific question you'd like to ask, and then I'll let you make that study roll.
I don't know how specific to get it.
Well, throw something out there, and we can.
The one that comes to mind is how many spears are there, and like how many does it require to relock this demon? That's like pure. I think pure mechanics is really what Bina's looking after.
Okay, great. Go ahead. That's a great question. Go ahead and roll your study.
It is just the one, and it is a 4. Rolling well.
A 4. I'm going to say, so this was going to be, I should have said this before, but it would be a standard kind of thing. So here's the deal. You realize that there are 6 of these spears. And the reason you find this out is because 5 of them, meaning all of them, have been pulled out of the creature. And 5 of them are at Bellwether Crematorium currently. And the spirit wardens are going nuts because one went missing last night. And how did Lovely Rose do this when these guys are specifically spec to fight ghosts? Guys, don't ask me all these questions, okay? She's a nasty, nasty bit of business, this Lovely Rose. And
She's so talented.
Perhaps she has allies we're not aware of. I have notes. I'm not going to show them to you. So look, the way you find this out, Bina Jaffe, is because you actually start talking with your academic connections to the professors that are consulting. None of them are aware that this is what they're actually dealing with, but they do tell you how many there are and about this theft. And it does give you one idea. I'm gonna say one idea. So the usually a 4 is a success with consequences. The consequences is you're a little worried that you might have to try to go at Bellwether Crematorium. You're a little worried that you might have to actually take on the spirit wardens, which is going to be scary for you guys. You don't have to, but I'm saying it feels like that might be the way to solve the cataclysm issue that's going on. But the thing I'm going to give you is that you realize that you could possibly pose as academics, and that could be your way in.
Sure, yeah. We're sneakier than,
But what about the spear? Put a wig on it?
So I definitely get the impression that they're after whoever stole this 6th spear, right?
That's absolutely right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
Good for everybody.
I think it's time now that we've kind of, and look, this doesn't have to be your score. You can just kind of let a cataclysm happen and
can we?
Maybe it wouldn't happen right away. Maybe it would wait a little bit of time before.
Maybe we could get nice jobs in the cataclysm.
Yeah,
Maybe it's in on a timer, and we're just, it's a nice demon. Look, we avoided the demon consequence.
Yeah, at least there's that.
It's definitely on a timer. I'm making a clock.
See.
I'm making a clock right now.
Yeah.
And I'm
demon
rolling a die.
Are we out of actions, or do we have one more?
There's one more.
Do I have 2 more?
I believe that Bina and our friend Poor Violet have only taken one of their downtime actions.
Oh, okay.
Elazar, you've only taken one of yours.
No, I reduced heat by getting the story going.
You reduced heat, and also Elazar reduced heat. That's a downtime action. But gathering information on the next score, that's sort of just free play, which is what you were doing.
Okay.
But then I also tried to soothe Poor Violet, and she didn't show up instead.
Right, but that wasn't a downtime action. That was just sort of kind of you playing your character. So if you would like to acquire an asset to help them with this score, it looks like you might be going on. If you'd like to recover some more or indulge your vices or train or something before this, now's the time. This is like you guys prepping to do something big. So let's start actually with Elazar. I see he has something on his mind.
I'm just asking if checking out the harpoon, was that a downtime action?
No, it didn't count because I said that was just sort of gaining information on the next score, which you have done. You've gained a lot on.
Got it.
Elazar, Bina, or Poor Violet all have an extra action. Urich is just.
And then we have yet one more.
Porridge to Veldrin.
Do you guys wanna...
I kind of want to go check in on Ulrich and Veldrin. Because I feel like Elazar might. I like the idea of Elazar finding something useful in Veldrin's arcane scrawlings.
Interesting. Okay, so here's what I'll let you do.
I'm going to run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Please. I do too, but I'm going to stick here and I have a bottle. Wait. Okay. Here's what you can do. I'm going to call this acquiring an asset.
Okay.
If you, I want you to roll 2 dice, your tier 0, and take the lower result. And if you roll, depending on your roll, will be how coherent Veldrin is when he consults you on this to help you with this.
Okay.
Because he knows weird stuff now that his mind has been quote unquote expanded.
Sure.
So you're going to acquire him as an asset. Go ahead and roll your 2d6 and take the lower result. We're going to see what his.
Who did he take? Sorry, who was he getting?
He's gonna get Veldrin to be an asset for this.
I was thinking of less like acquiring him as an asset and more of finding something in all of his arcane ravings.
Scribblings.
Something valuable.
That's definitely the fiction, but I kind of want to deal with it as a downtime activity, if that's okay.
Rolled a 6 and a 5.
A 6 and a 5 means that you rolled a 5, which means, let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. Let's see, acquire asset. Okay. You roll the tier, 4 to 5. You get equal to your tier. So he is a level 0 asset. But you can spend coin to raise the result of this roll. Which I think would mean that, like, maybe you
get him some help.
Yeah, you get him some help, and he becomes more coherent and can explain some of this stuff to you. By spending 2 coin, an additional tier level will be added.
Ulrich, I think I know someone who might be able to help your friend. It wouldn't Urich.
Does Andrew even know we're talking to him?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying
to
learn how to use Twitch.
Yes, that's all right.
I apologize. What's happening?
Now we see Andrew. He does his 2 downtime activities, and then he just surfs porn.
Just on his phone.
No, then he just tries to
multiple windows of porn.
Learn Twitch like your grandmother. This is why I shouldn't have the window open. This is why
I can help you. I can help you later.
Right,
we'll watch Psych.
Someone in chat
we'll
just
figure
reminded us that we get +1 to acquire an asset.
Oh, that's right. Chat.
Because
So
we're
there's a potential for double 6s there.
Sweet.
I
apologize.
I want you to go ahead and so a +1 die means that you don't have 2 and take the lower. It means you just roll 1. And if you want, because I screwed that up, I'll let you just take the 6. Is that what you want?
Sure.
You have a tier 1 asset in Veldrin. You make him comfortable. You talk to him. Do you want to spend 2 coin to make him a level 2?
Whoa.
I kind of like the idea of trying to help Veldrin.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, if everybody, I don't want to spend all of our money without everybody else's permission.
I mean, you need to talk to Urich. You're turning his Igor into a regular hunky Frankenstein.
That's right. Back
here.
into the role play. Urich, I think I know someone who might be able to help your friend Veldrin. Some of what he has here it might look like the scrawlings of a madman to some, but there's substance here.
Oh, and who's this?
Game Master.
Sure. Well, you know Melvier through.
I was going to say we've got a buddy physiker.
Yeah, and he can give him some drugs to make him like more coherent, more less disturbed.
Physiker might have some remedies that could ease his suffering, perhaps even help him make more sense in his work.
Would this be something that I've tried in the past, Game Master, or not?
Yeah, you're skeptical, but yes, it is something you've tried, but you don't know this guy Melvier. Maybe he's really good.
Okay. And I guess I'd be happy that my companions are taking an interest in this sort of my haunting project. Yeah.
I feel like Elazar has sort of come to your guys' flat that we saw in the beginning of the last game and has sort of examined some of the scrawlings on the walls and been like, this isn't It looks like nothing, but it isn't.
Yeah, I'll try anything, and I know Veldrin would do anything to get his mind back.
It would
Here's-
cost a little, but it's something the shop could pay for.
Yes, please.
2 coin, Elazar?
If everybody's cool with it, let's do
Yeah,
it.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Oh yeah.
2 coin is what 2 coin buys you. Melvir actually shows up at Urich's Garrett apartment with like this like big tube apparatus, and he's like kind of like he hooks up this like kind of IV to your friend Veldrin, who's like and you see when you're looking into a mirror, you're not really looking into a reflection of light. You're actually looking into, he's just like kind of like gibbering madness over and over. And then Melvir is like, one coin was for me. I'm good at this kind of thing. The other coin was to buy a little bit of a special formula I've concocted. And he lets this green fluid down into Veldrin's veins, and suddenly Veldrin is like, "What's happening?"
Oh, no.
Hello,
Who are you?
Veldrin.
Veldrin. Yeah, I'll rush to his bed. Veldrin, are you here?
Of course I'm here. Urich, what's going on?
I think this physiker has helped you. He's tried some serum. These are my friends, and they paid for it.
Hello.
Hello, Veldrin.
Oh God, we're in very great danger. There's not a lot of time. I think something horrible is happening.
What's happening, Veldrin?
I can see large forms moving just beyond our vision. Cyclopean things without faces. My papers. And he's like pulling the IV along with him, and Melvir's like, "Don't let him break the apparatus." And he's following.
I'll
him
bring
around the
them.
apartment.
I'll bring them to you. I'll bring them to you. Tell me what you need.
Melvir, is like turns to you and goes, "You realize this is temporary.
How long will this last?
He'll only be lucid for the next 2 hours."
Well, let's
That's
see.
the best dice roll I've
That
ever
was
seen.
such a good D&D.
That was the best.
Can I help Veldrin study during this time? Can I
Yes,
sort of
you can.
help
In
him out?
fact, Veldrin is in clear enough mindset that he can take 1 stress and give you an extra die to your study roll, or if you'd like, he can roll and you could take a stress and add 1 die to his study roll, which would give him a 3.
You roll.
I would also get 3, so I will roll.
Okay, he's helping you. He is in clear enough head that he can take 1 stress. He's explaining all of this stuff to you, and a lot of it is about like non-Euclidean geometry and how demons move through space-time, and how the history says that the first emperor imprisoned demons all over the world using these kind of artifacts. And how do you do?
So bad.
Oh no!
I got a 3 and 2 1s.
Oh no!
Can he push it?
Yes.
Hell comes to Frog Town.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, is there is a certain kind of like, it's almost like a numerological formula that he has translated into Skovlan language, kind of the way that some things, and I'm doing a poor job, this is a fictional version, but the way that some things in the Kabbalah work, and you suddenly realize that this word that he has created out of all of these formulas has some kind of significance to this cataclysm event, and you are about to utter it out loud, but keep in mind you have failed. Would you like to push yourself? And
I would like to push myself in this moment of stress.
Okay, so you know that if you push yourself, you take stress, and I think you get to roll another die. Is that correct? 1 + 1 die. Usually, I think you have to call it beforehand. Am I wrong, guys?
Oh, really?
Well, let me make sure. Action roll 1 + 1d if you push. That's You know what? This is downtime. We're not in the middle of a score. I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay.
Okay.
You're about to utter the word, and then you roll one more die.
I roll one more die. My nose begins to bleed. 4.
Ugh.
Success with a consequence.
Okay.
The consequence is that you realize that demons, especially demons as powerful as this Sitara character, don't exactly exist wholly inside of our space-time, and so that the weapons that imprison them and sort of bind them to the earth also do not totally exist inside of our own space-time. This word is an activation word. All you know is that when you utter it, these harpoon-like things will react strangely in terms of whether they exist in this reality or another one, but you don't know quite how. Do you utter it right now or no?
I'm going to roll. 'Cause I have no idea, so I'm just going to roll. Even yes, odd no.
Oh boy.
Odd.
Okay.
No.
So odd no, you don't say it. Okay.
I do not
so,
say it.
So you know you have that in your back pocket. It could
I'm
be
like about to
useful
say
later.
that.
Okay. We still have some downtime activities to knock out, and we are almost at the end of our session. So now I would say that it sounds like this is the score you guys are going on. Am
Yeah.
I
You
wrong?
gotta.
Yeah.
We don't need to decide how you're doing it or where you're targeting, whether it's bellwether or just trying to put the thing back in the ocean and stick it into the demon. We don't need to decide any of that right now. All we have to decide is how you're going to spend these final downtime activities. So Elazar has done his 2. Bina, do you have a second one?
I will train.
Very
And
good.
you just put XP in one of the things.
Yeah. Which one would you like? If you do prowess, you get 2 ticks. If you do any of the others, you do not.
I'll do prowess, sure.
2 more ticks in prowess.
Okay.
Bina, you're just getting ready for the job of your life, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, training yourself.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tough one. You might have to
She just
break into
got beat up by
bellwether.
cops. She's like, no, 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 rooftop, no, no.
Fighting dummies that she's painted to look like the cops.
But they're made out of like pumpkins. She's up there fighting a
Yeah.
pumpkin.
Poor Violet. What is your second downtime activity?
Well, this is definitely the score, because I think poor Violet is terrified and furious with her sister, and she wants to undo this. She wants to fix it quickly. In her mind, you can't just. I mean, maybe you can just drop off a big harpoon on the footstep, on the front steps of the. What's the place where they're keeping the rest of the harpoons?
Bellwether Crematorium.
The Bellwether Crematorium, but I don't think that's the best way to do it. So I think she's going to spend this time trying to acquire an asset, which is a boat.
Now that's a great idea.
Mm.
You're going to go ahead and roll your tier, but you guys get a plus die when acquiring an asset.
Yep.
So
Very
go ahead and
good.
roll 1 die, and that will determine kind of the,
Okay.
whether it's a tier 0 boat or a tier 1 boat.
Sure.
The fact
Yeah.
that we're pack rats and we get to roll extra implies that we just have a boat lying around in the
Or-
ship.
Maybe-
Slippery pack rats.
Yes.
So I'm just rolling 1 die, right? And
One
taking
die.
whatever it is. That's a 3.
That means it is tier -1, which means less than 0 is nothing. How do I even adjudicate that? I guess what I'll say is you have I'm going to go ahead and say you have a almost less than competent boat.
Okay.
You've got an old canoe with a hole in it
Great.
that you think that you could stuff up with some stuff that's also
Cool.
in the headquarters, and you're hoping you can take that out into the middle of the bay and use it to drop a demon binding harpoon into a giant demon corpus.
I've named it the Lady Priscilla.
Does hilarious.
The one thing we know must happen is that the boat must be taken out there, right? That you must somehow get this at least this one artifact into the body where they found it. And so I'm going to end tonight's scenario with having poor Violet, like, she's kind of all by herself while the others are training and doing other things, like pushing this big like, artifact onto this like little canoe and pushing it out into like a canal near Char Hollow, and it immediately starts to sink. And you're kind of like, oh God, are we up for this?
We lost the harpoon.
She got fleeced on the boat.
Is there one more downtime action?
There is
out
one
there?
more downtime action.
I want you to decide it while I use the restroom.
Okay. What should we do, guys?
I'm so happy to see Jared do that because that lessens a lot of stress for me on the GM.
I don't think we lost the harpoon just now. I think we just
You didn't have the harpoon with you, did you?
no. Well, Jared just painted a scene in which I was testing to see if this canoe would hold it, and it does not. So
It's
the
starting
boat
to
that I acquired is trash. My turn was wasted. This dice will go in dice jail.
You could have tested it just by like putting stones in the canoe to
Let's say that I did that then.
commensurate weight. You know?
Let's say that I did that then.
Tell the judge.
new attempt at boat.
New attempt at boat.
So the other thing I was thinking was we could try and gather information about like just how to play this.
I think the
Like
way that
what
I
we
think
need to do.
I think we got a couple of options. I think we can drop this back into a demon, and then you speak the command word, and we see what happens. Or I think we could take it to literally to the doorstep of the crematorium in a basket and be like, "We found this. Sorry."
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I definitely
Do
think
you
we
need
I
us
don't
to
think we
help
should
with
take
anything?
we
I don't think
cannot
taking it-
be
I don't
caught
think
with
taking
it,
it back
That's
for
very
sure.
true.
Like
Well,
we can't be
no,
caught with it.
Hey, I'm saying maybe we hire somebody the middle of the night, a dead drop. It doesn't have to be us.
That's why I was
We do
wondering
have-
about gather information. Might be able to glean a little bit more info,
Okay.
so we have a better idea of what we need to do.
Maybe they've got a lost and found. I imagine, magical artifacts blink around like this all the time.
We have
I don't.
this thing.
I don't
and
think gather information is an actual action.
Is it not?
No. Acquire an asset, start a long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, indulge vice. Those are they.
Oh, I thought one was gather information.
maybe the
Gather
project
information
could
has
be
been
that?
like how we're furthering the thing. I mean, we could start a project, but it doesn't feel like we have time.
We could build a boat.
We could. None of us have boat building skills. I don't think we could try. But I think like at this point, another asset is important. Like a boat would be great. We do
Okay.
have.
Okay, I'm down for boat attempt 2.
We're like, oh, this boat doesn't work. New boat.
Boy, I tell you that rosé goes right through you. And I'm gonna need Urich to clean me up after that restroom stop.
Jeez.
Okay.
Urich doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Not
sorry,
for the
I
next 2 hours.
I narrated the most humiliating thing for your character, Andrew. Thank you for being a good sport about it.
No, it's fine.
So I'm being told that gathering information about our next score is not a downtime activity.
And I didn't count it as one.
No.
Right? No. I just meant
Yeah.
I was putting that forward as a potential next thing to do, and we can't
No.
do that.
Oh yes, I'm afraid not.
Does somebody need to recover? We also could do another recovery.
I mean, I have some stress.
Well, I mean recover in terms of just like damage, but my stress is fine.
Bina, you might be the only one who was banged up.
Was it just me?
Yeah, I didn't take it.
I was disoriented and bruised. And,
I'm
like,
magically
everything is bad.
aged.
Oh yeah, well,
I don't
Nothing-
like
nothing
getting
we knew
messy.
about.
Deal with?
Well, is there a downtime activity? This is a good idea that keeps popping up in the chat of forming an alliance with another faction. Is that a
Ooh,
downtime
acquiring
activity?
asset, right?
That would be acquiring
Or a
an
project.
asset.
An asset.
A long-term
Maybe,
project.
maybe since my boat sucked, maybe we can lock horns. Or no, that means
'Cause aren't
fight.
we-
Maybe we can
aren't we-
lock teams with join
Make friends.
forces. There it
We
is.
pay the
Thank you.
grinders, and aren't they like
grinders,
boat
they're-
makers
they're
and
boatsmen.
Leviathan hunters or something?
They are former like Leviathan blood refinery workers.
Oh,
But wait, I mean that's a pretty great idea actually, because they would know the kind of dangers that are dealt with when you work with demon blood, which you guys potentially are trying to stick something into a demon. Like it's not crazy.
It's also probably people we should have a good relationship with. It's the grinders, even if we're not like, simpatico necessarily.
We might lose their boat though.
I mean, it's better than our boat.
That's true. That's true. I worked hard on the Lady
for this
Priscilla.
final downtime action. Can we try to acquire a boat specifically from the grinders by consorting with them?
Or at the very least, a bosun who will take us there. A guy.
Well, you always roll tier when you're acquiring an asset. You guys roll one die. But here's what I'll do. I'll say, yes, you can, all of this can happen. So you can like go to the grinders, tell them the situation, or your version of the situation, and try to see if they'll lend you a boat. And I'll tell you something, if you guys roll a 6, they're gonna lend you some grinders. They're gonna lend you some gang members as well.
Oh, come on. Who's got that 6? Who's feeling it?
Gotta be Urist, baby.
Yeah.
You man.
Last one.
Use it.
Push this at all?
Rent a thug. Rent a thug.
Do we want to try and get a 6?
Yeah, I mean we do. What's your? You're the only one who can.
So we get to roll 2 dice because of it's acquiring an asset.
Yeah.
No, you get to roll 1 because you're tier 0, but you get plus 1 die when you acquire an asset.
So 0.
Let me see.
Okay, so it's just 1.
It's just 1.
Got it.
But you wait. You're trying to acquire the same asset again, right? Earlier, poor Violet tried to acquire a boat, and you're trying to do that again, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus 1 die. It says
Plus
if you
1
try to
die.
acquire the same asset again, you get plus 1 die on your roll.
Whoa, that
You've
rocks.
been looking far and wide for a boat. You've put out a lot of feelers. I'm going to allow it.
Great.
It will not give you heat. Go for it.
6.
Yes.
Boat.
Forget what I said about. Well, that did happen. Poor Violet kind of sank a boat in the mud.
Yeah.
But then later, like Hutton, the leader of the grinders, is like,
Call that a boat.
always, we're always happy to meet fellow Skovlanders who know the old signs and the old language. And he offers you his hand, which is like stained forever with like crimson Leviathan blood stains.
Sweet.
And he can't hold his hand steady because he's been so horribly poisoned. And Urich, you perhaps also see some common ground with these guys. And I'm going to say that he gives you a fantastic little boat that, unlike the one that poor Violet found, will actually, if you choose to procure them, fit all of the obelisks or the harpoons, right? And he gives you several members of his grinders gang to help you go out into the bay with. And if this score is a more or less success, you will add a +1 to your relationship with the grinders.
Nice.
All right.
Great.
Woo. Far out. I
Whoa.
mean, how are we? Now I want
Skovland
to.
for Skovlanders.
Skovland for Skovlanders.
And me as well.
Shut up. Get her out of here. What is this kid doing in the headquarters?
I'm sorry. I have my
Has
own
she been
boat.
touching the drugs? Get her away from that. Guys, that is tonight's episode.
Yay!
That is tonight's
All
segment.
right.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Are you ready for this? Is a big score. How are you feeling about it?
I
It's so scary. Oh my god.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling okay about getting this one out into the ocean and dropping it, but now that I know what's at stake, it's like, well, we gotta get the rest of them out there, right?
I guess we gotta save the world.
That's where I live. I need that.
I can't wait to see whether you guys decide to try to save the world or if you want to just kind of, save it for a little while by just planting this one into the demon corpus somehow.
Yeah, just
either way.
save the world today. That's all we're going
save it
for.
for the
Just
weekend.
a long-term plan.
Yeah, I can't stress enough. Like, I want you to think about it, before we come back in a month. Fucking with the spirit wardens, you guys are really tangling with a dangerous kind of faction, and their tier is so high it might be hard for someone at your tier to even like break in. So you'd need a very, very clever plan. But that's all for next time. Right now I want to just thank the Better Than Heroes crew, Andrew ORVEDAHL, Jordan Dahl, Aaron Urist, and Rachel Weeks. Follow them on all of their socials. Tell them how much you enjoyed their performance tonight and how much we'd love to see them again. I have people saying, I love the Kenahora. What a great crew. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having us.
Very
Absolutely.
fun.
It was a blast.
I'll say goodbye to our friends for now. Bye-bye, guys. I'm going to hang out for a minute and just do our kind of closing information. Here, let me grab my other laptop here and find out what I need to say to you guys. Yeah, I mean, how did the chat feel like that session went? I mean, our players were amazing, of course, but how is everybody feeling about this potential score that's coming up? It's a little scary, right? Here we go. Okay, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, Ashley Birch, Ross Bryan, and Abubakar Salim are back in the deep end for more Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. One coterie member is in the clutches of an old enemy. One friend has been rescued from the clutches of an enemy, but may now also be an enemy too. I don't know exactly what we're talking about, Clinton Trucks, but it's all, look, one, Abu's character is with an old enemy buddy. I know that. Curtis's character is trying to get his touchstone medical attention, and they're going to an underground doctor to do that. And, Jen Brown has rescued her touchstone, Sabrina, but Sabrina has possibly been brainwashed by the Nosferatu. It's going to be an insane session. It's complicated. Tune in tomorrow to see our players figure it out. Please do that. Stream of Blood is also a podcast. You can follow us on the podcatcher podcast provider of your choice. Please rate and review us and subscribe. It helps people find us. We've seen that our podcast numbers are going up, and we appreciate that. Keep sending your friends there, rating and reviewing us. And we'll do more things with the podcast. We'll get more different shows on there, etc. Blades in the Dark. Oh, of course, I put it under the laptop. Here is by John Harper and Evil Hat Studios. It's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it at your home table, I highly, highly recommend it. Original artwork for Blood and Blades is by Will Pottorff. We didn't see any tonight, but we will soon. Pottorff is where you can get in touch with willpottorff.com or at his Instagram and buy some of his artwork because it's quite amazing. Axel Kazis Taylor did some music for us, and you can find more of Axel's stuff on soundcloud.com. The absolutely best way to help this streaming channel is to subscribe on Twitch and spread the word. Tell people what we're up to. Subscribe and comment on YouTube. We're on Instagram and Twitter, Stream of Blood, on Reddit, r/Stream of Blood. And then, of course, Stream of Blood's Server of Blood on Discord is where you can talk to us. Tell us what you'd like to see. Tell me where I got the rules wrong. I always do get something wrong. Tell me where I got the setting wrong. Are you pro goats or pro horses? It's divisive. Are you pro glass dice dish or pro me not rolling in the glass dice dish? It's what people are talking about on the Discord server. Am I selling it? And my point is, you can talk to me, Secret GM, Clinton Trucks, and everybody that works on the show by going to that Discord server, joining it, and getting to be part of the conversation. I would like to thank my producers and partners, Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks. I would like to thank our social media manager, Megan Arch. Thank you. I would like to thank our YouTube content producer, Matt Moynihan. More GM Toolbox coming every Tuesday. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Garrett Ross, for our beautiful little logo. And thank you to Andrew ORVEDAHL, who just played Urich, for our incredible opening animation. That's it. Until next time, cheers. Oh, wait. Oh, a question. Yeah, actually, let's hang out and do this question. Has the SOB ever reached out to John Harper? It might be cool to interact in some way. Well, I think that's a good idea. And I don't know why we haven't done it. I guess we would just... Yes, Clinton Trucks.
We've not, but he's been very, very kind on social media about liking and retweeting, and he seems to be at least tangentially aware of what we're up to, and we couldn't appreciate his work more, so we'd love to hear more if anybody can put us in touch.
Yes. So if you have his address, Clint will go over to his house and, just kind of look in the window a little bit, until he gets John's attention. And then when John comes out and is like, "Who are you?" we'll be like, "How would you like to hang out on the Stream of Blood?" That's generally how we meet people. It's how we got Gillian Jacobs on the Warhammer stream. Will saving the world negatively affect the Kenohora's goal of being subtle? I mean, you're just asking the questions that the game should answer. DC Pep Dimer. DC Pep DD Eimer. By the way, I've seen you on our Discord as well. Thank you for being here. That's a great question. It really is, but I think that the score has to answer that, right? Like, if they go big, it's going to be hard to keep a lid on it. If they go incremental, like they just kind of try to like get a stopgap on this potential cataclysm, it could be a little easier. I didn't expect this to be the direction that the game went, but we knew that poor Violet needed to do something crazy, and we know that there's a bunch of, half plots and little hooks in the back of the book here, and that stuff just... Lovely Rose, poor Violet's ghost sister, needed to do something nasty in this session, and she did. She's done something nasty that also has led them into a potentially fatal score. It's going to be a nasty, tough score. All right, guys, thank you again so much. Until next time, happy gaming, you sons of bitches, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.